Okie doke. So, um, pardon any shoddiness. This is just going to be a King Wen sequence, kind of a preview. What I want to do, and it'll be a little bit longer, is to go through all 384 lines in this sequence and incrementally, yin yang. And also to go through doing the full trigram with both hands for each trigram. But right now, I'm just going to hopefully, because I have it here and then I also have it on the screen in front of me, I'm just going to kind of go through, not really, like, I'm not going to try not to interpret anything because I don't have all the information listed. This is a pretty bare display of the I Ching, but I'm going to partition it via right and left-handedness. So I believe the lower trigram I will have as my right hand, my right side, and the upper trigram I will have as my left. In that way, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to look at the camera, just because I don't know. I'm not. What is it when someone can read sheet music as they play, where they can just read the notes and play as they're reading. I'm not quite there yet, and kind of just don't really even care if I do get there. But there's a lot going on here, in terms of, like, if we're looking at it as like category theory, or if we're looking at it as different types of symmetry, inversion, reversion, opposition, polarity, weakening, strengthening. The King Wen sequence is, I think, almost entirely primarily configured of pairings, and the pairings are inversions. And so some of the inversions are reversions, some of the inversions are reversions and oppositions or polarities. Again, this is something that could be depicted. If I had the I Ching arranged in a sphere, we could show what the King Wen sequence, what the pairings actually are, the different angles that they make. And so again, I apologize if I miss something. I actually might even need to pull up I might even need to pull up the the Bagua to have each of the elements. So my phone's there, so I can't pull it up there. Shoot, let me. I'll pull it up on my other laptop. Okie dokie. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this. Again, I'm just kind of doing this as a preview to just get it out there, because it's just such advanced. I mean, oh gosh, here we go, saying it's advanced. It's really basic, but the complexity in terms of the neurological processes that unfold via the cerebellum are what kind of make it more advanced. And so I'm just going to, I have the image pulled up right now. I guess it might even be good to, if I had this shown on screen as well. I guess this is why people use green screens and have all sorts of graphic data depicted. So yeah, so far, so good. I'm going to set one laptop on top of the other laptop, and hopefully I don't lose both. Okay. So again, this is actually quite a bit of coordination, gosh, to do this. I was saying it was so basic, and I apologize. This is why it would just be better to just do each of the lines. So this other coordination is maybe saved for later, but let's just start with hexagram 1, which is heaven. Well, let's start with resting earth, wind, mountain, lake, fire, heaven, thunder, water, earth. So this first one is heaven. The second, well, it's receptive. Oh, I wonder if I can't remember all the names. I used to be able to, but we'll just go with number 2. And then number 3 is thunder on bottom, so flexed wrist, and then water on top. And then this is water on bottom, and interesting, and mountain. So that's it. This is why it's interesting that there's reversions, because you can get polarization of the element, especially with water and fire, because they have a symmetry and internal symmetry. But then you end up with the inversion of the only one of the trigrams. And so then this next one is heaven and water. And then this next one is water and heaven. Then this next one is water and earth. And water, water and earth for 7, water and earth for 8, or earth and water for 8. And this next one is heaven and wind, lake and heaven. Again, notice the interesting inversion that mountain, well, I messed that up. Wind, yeah. Wind and lake are the changing elements, and heaven just switched from bottom to top. And so then we have heaven and earth, relaxed a left wrist, heaven and earth. Now we have fire and heaven, heaven and fire. And now we have mountain and earth, and earth and thunder. And now we have thunder and, what is that? Lake. Thunder and lake. And now we have wind and mountain. Is that wind and mountain? Yeah, wind and mountain. And now we have lake and earth, earth and wind. Interesting. And we have, what is that? Thunder and fire. And now fire and mountain. So it's not just, I think that this would be what's interesting about going through a different sequence, and then you kind of get, you just get the reversion, or you just get the polarity or the switch up, which I need to look into what that would be. This is mountain, and so then mountain stays on top. Now earth, mountain, thunder, earth, thunder, heaven, heaven, mountain. Oh, this is an interesting one. And so this is thunder, mountain. And this one is wind, lake. And then this one is, water over water. And here we have fire over fire. And now we have mountain and lake. Ooh. And then, this one's fun. We have wind and thunder, which I think that completes a different cycle. Again, I'll have to draw these lines in sometime. And then we have mountain and heaven. Did I just do that? No. And heaven and thunder. And now we have water and earth, earth and water. Oh, no. We have water and earth. Now earth and water. And then we have water again and wind, lake and water. Oh, interesting. Lake and water. And now we have, what is that? Mountain and no, I messed up almost all of that sequence. That was not water. That was fire. So we are, let me see, 4 lines down, 5 lines down to it. So we are right here. I guess I should have been pointing this out. So we're right here. This is where I messed up, and then I made it to over here, and then I realized that's water. That's and that's fire. So I need to go back to here and start over again. So we have fire and earth, fire and earth, or earth and fire, fire and wind, lake and fire. Oh, even more interesting. Lake and fire, and then what is that? That is mountain and water, and then that's water and thunder. And now we're here, and that is lake and mountain. Yay! It's so funny. Going through the sequence is actually kind of confusing. Now thunder and wind. Interesting. Now heaven and lake and wind and heaven and earth and lake, wind and earth, water. Oh yeah, this is interesting. So there's a water and water under lake, and then there's a lake underwater, and then we have wind and water, and then we have fire, and lake, lake of fire. And so it's so funny. Yeah, what's the reverse of that, where it's fire over lake rather than lake over fire? And so then we have wind over fire, or fire over wind, and then thunder over thunder, mountain over mountain, then mountain under wind, and then lake under thunder. Yeah, I wonder if the right hand should be the lower trigram, because it's, under, over, whatever the case. Fire and thunder again. And then what's the So we're on the last one here. And so this is mountain and fire. And then we have wind over wind and lake over lake and water under wind and lake underwater. Here's the lake underwater. And then we have, what's that one? That one is lake under wind and mountain under thunder. And then fire underwater and water under fire. So that's a very interesting one. Almost like the Nada and Pingala switch nasal breathing to, that the hexagram. So this is, what is this? This is 63 and this is 64. 63 and 64. So yeah, I guess it's good that I did a preview just because it's like there's a lot of different things that I need to have pulled up and like a lot of different information, maybe even a different graph, as well as like the structure of just like maybe we just do this one and then I kind of describe it as I go through the whole thing, just because it's so in depth. Or not, yeah, so that's the King 1 sequence. It's interesting having the inversions, because the inversions would show up a lot more with, what is it? A lot more with yin, yang, yin, because it's more piecemeal. And so you kind of have this mirroring effect going on. I guess because I do have a little bit of time, I guess I have quite a bit of time. Maybe I could have just done the whole video right now, but it's good to just have a preview really quickly. So that's the 64 hexagrams, split right and left-handed. And so, well, here's the 384 lines, just through yin. And so I'm really just going to count them. I'm not going to go over the elements. I'm just going to count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. And then I already messed it up. That's yang. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then yang, yin, yin. Oh, yin, yang, yin, yin, yang, yin, 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 yang. Yang, 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 yin, yang, yin, yin, yang, yin, yang, 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 yin, yang, yin, oh, yin, 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 yang, yin, yang, 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 yin, yang, 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 yin, yang, 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 yin, 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 yang, 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 yin, yang, 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 ooh, yang, 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 yin, yang. And so that gets us to right about there. You can kind of see how it's a little bit belabored. I may have already messed one of those up. Like I said, yeah, a preview. This is maybe a rough draft, maybe not a preview, but a rough draft. I might actually have to go hexagram by hexagram and not just solidly through all of it, just because not only is it the counting, but also making sure that I come back to the right one, and that I'm also just doing, I don't know, attempting the right movement. And so I'll just finish up that row. I don't know if well, I mean, shoot, I got the time. It's going pretty quick. But yeah, so I'll just finish this row. So we have yin, yin, yang, yin. Oh, see? Yang, and then yin, yin, yin. And then yin, 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 yang, yin, yin. And so what you kind of end up with is you end up with an interesting, especially when they're like kind of the top trigram from one in the king one sequence is added to the bottom trigram of another. You kind of end up with a lot, like between, well, where is it? Here and here, you end up with another full hexagram. And then between here and here, you end up with this. So you have this, and then this. And so you can kind of see there's like a transposition of elements. And so, I mean, that's important if that's important. But like this one right here we have 5, and we have another 5. I think this is 43, 44. And so this would be a part of a different sequence where it's basically yang, or yin, 5 yang, 6 yang, 5 yang, yin. And so that's a part of it's a seasonal sequence, but the seasonal sequence has a couple other elements. That one I think of as kind of like, what is it? This one here is yang, 5 yin, 6 yin, 5 yin, 1 yang. And so that is important. I want to do those 6 hexagrams. That's 23 and 24 here. 23, 24. And I want to do that one, not the full season one, because the full season one includes these two, includes this one, this one, this one, this one, and a couple of others. Did I point out these two as well? And so it's like where that one is 6, the other one is like 10 or 12, which is all good. But then I also want to do a cycle of these two where you have expanding yang from the center and expanding yin from the center. And so that might include that guy, that might include that guy, that might include, where else? Some of them that have 3. I'm trying to find them. For some reason, I can't find them. Where you end up with 3 open in the middle or 3 closed in the middle. And I'm so surprised I can't even find them. Oh, here. 3 open, 3 open. So those might be a part of the sequence. And then, where's the 3 closed? Or the 3 solid? So yeah, like maybe these might be included. Like this one would be included. Oh yeah, I already pointed that one out. Oh, I pointed out these ones too, maybe. Well, whatever. So different hexagrams where there's like kind of like an enclosure or not, what those elements are, what they are as yin and yang, and then what they are as the trigrams. And then if there is a direct sequence to them or not. Like another one would actually be like starting with these 2, then going to this one, and then these 2, and then going to these 2 because they have 3, and then going to this one because it has 4, and then maybe closing it out with this one, and this one, and this one, and so you have, from this, you have the yang, or well, these 2, yang building through the center, or yang building through the center. And then similarly with the yin, so you'd go here, and then you'd go here. Well, actually, you'd go to the single line. So you'd start here, 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 here. Here and here, and then full receptivity. And so that's 2 other sequences that could be included. So there's like those 4 sequences, all kind of available. And again, it's like math. And then there's hundreds of thousands of relationships between all of those things because they can all be inverted and kind of understood a little bit differently, especially when you start taking into account like maybe what might be weakening or what might be strengthening. But yeah, so that's that. I didn't get very far. I didn't get very deep into it. Let's check the time. Maybe. Oh. So yeah. It's I don't know. It's a lot. I thought I was even going to be able to handle doing a preview. it's just for me, like, there's a little bit of thinking behind it, but it's really looking at it has to do with, like, there is someone that I was speaking to, and they were describing, it's like, well, what you're saying is circular reasoning or circular logic, and um, these things can very well be true. Like, we can all succumb to our own reasoning, but there is this strange point, and I don't know when I realized this or what the full realization was, but it was basically that all reasoning is circular. It's just the circumference of the circle that we have to navigate. And it's the circumference of the circle and or the curves and arcs of that circle, and or the loops if there are loops within that circle, or the spirals if there are spirals in that circle. And so it just got me thinking about 63 and 64, that it's this containing element, but then even more with the yang, yin, yang, where it's like stillness at the center, and then yin, yang, yin, where there's activity at the center of the water trigram. And so that those two are the most circular in a binary system, but then they kind of also end up creating the middle path, the middle ground, the middle, whatever anyone wants it to be. And so, yeah, just to hear from someone that's like, oh, well, that's circular reasoning, but it's like, it's all circular reasoning. It's just whether or not the curve is aligned with, I don't know, the Tao or the heavens or something. So yeah, I don't really know how to step onto that, but yeah, there's a lot going on. Well, so, and then another thing is I might even include these two as a cycle. These two yin moving towards center, coming to center, and then expanding back out. Or yeah, expanding back out to here. And so then how it would be a cycle is it would be up to here. Interesting. So that would be almost like this cycle, but focusing on the enclosure of the elements. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually all really unimportant. That's why I really like just focusing on the yin and the yang, because it's just, am I resting? Am I active? And is this even action? Is this even doing something? Is this even resting? And so it can't really even be defined by what it has been defined as, because it really is just one's experience of the thing. And that's kind of, again, why it's like the water and fire seems so relevant to the conversation, is because it's like, oh, it's the continuous motion, the stillness that is within, and the stillness that is without or outside. And that they, like, I'm doing it. Like, where is the thought that's being had? There's me speaking, there's me depicting it, but where's you look at my action, where's the thought in my action? And you might see the thought in my action, but again, if my hands are outstretched like this, am I holding something? Am I grabbing something? Am I acting? Am I depicting something? Is this yang or is it yin? I guess that doesn't even matter anyways, or that might not matter at all either. Is that, oh, and then back to yang, back to yin. And so it's that changing between the two is where we experience ourselves, and then the resting, and knowing that there's just as much rest as there is action. But at the same time, that might not even matter either. The work and the not work, the passivity, the action, really. And so that's what's kind of fun with this, especially when you go through the elements, because if you see, like if you go through, here's all the trigrams, ascending and descending and ascending. So, here's all the elements, but you're defining a curve, not only like maybe vestibularly as our balance is within the body, but you're defining a curve with your hands. And so then the trigrams, especially if they're switched or like split between right and left, begin to define a curve. And so you could even go, well, what is this sequence? So here to here to here to here to here. And oddly enough, that it started with the right hand is different than the left. But it doesn't matter, because it's like, that's the cerebellum. That's our coordination, putting together all of that information. And then you have the flexed wrists of thunder, thunder, then earth, earth, then heaven, 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 mountain, heaven, mountain, 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 wind, mountain, wind, wind, lake, wind, lake, lake. Oh yeah, and then, you could even do ascending, and then that's a whole. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could get all the 64 just with that exercise, and for balance sake. And then I'm just going to go to thunder, from lake to thunder. Oh, and then thunder, then heaven, heaven, mountain, mountain, wind, mountain, then lake, lake, thunder, thunder, earth, earth. And so that, again, that's a sequence. It didn't have fire or water included, but that's a sequence. And that sequence defines a curve, both of movement, but also of logic and internal response. Because each of those has a yin yang element to it. So you have the more incremental form, but then you have this deeper depiction of self or of movement, motion through the body, that kind of creates what we experience as the more complex nature of our identity, or our mind. But it was just something that I saw yesterday after the work that I did. Basically the video that I posted, I walked outside and it was, I see the spirit. That wasn't necessarily an intended consequence, but I could just see the spirit in what was going on around me. And maybe that's order, maybe that's chaos, maybe that's, it's certainly not mental. It was beyond the mind. I wasn't in the mind when I saw it. The mind was playing around in it, And the mind may even consume all of it, but it really is bigger than the mind. And maybe that's like spirituality or spirit consciousness, but it was funny because it's like, well, you can't really talk about spirit consciousness because the mind is only playing in it, and the mind cannot overtake it because the mind is made of it, but the spirit is not made of the mind. And so it just really showed me the constituent parts of this of the mind, all unified by the spirit. And similarly, I guess the body, or however people want to think about it or talk about it. But those things are all a part of these midpoints that live at the center of us. And so that's kind of where it's like there's innovation here and there's inventiveness that I've never seen before. I really wish I made some of these comments at the beginning of the video, but and I'll probably reiterate it several times, but this is theory crafting, and this is invention and innovation. I haven't ever seen this before. I haven't ever seen, I've seen Tai Chi, and maybe the elements in Tai Chi can be, superimposed over the I Ching as well, and whatever that sequence is. And that, is probably very powerful and very beautiful. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, we don't just need that one sequence. We need all the sequences, and we even need to be moving in between them. Even one part of us needs to be moving in one way and another needs to be moving in the other, in order to maintain balance. And so that's where it's like, that was what's so funny, is like, well, yeah, just like, even that might actually be really a much easier way of going through this, is just like heaven, mountain, wind, lake, water, fire, thunder, earth, and then heaven, and then mountain, wind, lake, water, fire, thunder, earth. And so both, like all 12 of those hexagrams, if it was 12 hexagrams, may have been 11, all spanning out, just got formed. And then like fire, heaven, mountain, wind, lake, water, fire, thunder, earth. And then fire, heaven. So funny in my mind. Mountain, wind, lake, water, fire, thunder, earth. And so that was just 11 hexagrams. And, of course, it could be similarly, it could just be, and this is where it's fun to switch between these three different ways of going about it, is fire, heaven, fire, mountain, fire, wind, fire. What's that? Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. Lake, fire, water, fire, thunder, fire, earth. And what was it? It was heaven, mountain, heaven, wind, heaven, lake, heaven, water, heaven, fire, heaven, thunder, heaven, earth. And so that could just be going between the 8 hexagrams that have double mountain, mountain, yin, what is it? 1, 2, 51, 57, 52, 58, and 29 and 30, I think it is. Those are the 8 that are double each element. Yeah, and so like 29 and 30 are right here. So that's water over water, fire over fire. And then thunder over thunder, mountain over mountain. 1, 2, heaven, earth. And then, I forget where. 51, 50, oh yeah, 51, 57. Oh, and then 52. 58. Oh, so 51. Fuck. Oh no. Where is it? I'm losing it. Oh well, whatever the case. You look at it and try and find it. But yeah, the double elements. Oh yeah, so here's 51, 52, and then 3, 54, 55, 56, 57, and 58. Okay. Penetrating wind, mountain over mountain. And arousal. And then what is... No, that's mountain over mountain. That's mountain over mountain. Arousal. And then the joyous. Lake over lake is the joyous. Interesting. Huh. What the heck is going on here? Okay, well, so there's that. Do with it what you will. Have fun with it, whatever. It's all good. Again, maybe this was not too much to bite off right now, but it's just a lot. I haven't ever done any of that before. So again, this is all an experiment. It's a lot, but it's all right in the middle. It's perfect equanimity. And so that's one of the things that, like, after doing this whole exercise, it's just, that's all that it was. And so it's just, well, besides the mistake, the little bit of a mistake, is just equanimity. And so it's kind of like, well, where's equality? What is equanimity? How do I become more harmonious? It's like, well, have you looked through everything that you could categorically go through, active and inactive, and just been it? Because maybe you're a lot like this and a lot like this on any given day, but you exercise all the rest of this, and then all of a sudden this can kind of just maybe be this, or maybe be this, or maybe be this, or maybe be this, or whatever the expression is, action, inaction. Am I going to take action and more action and then maybe make things worse, or less action and maybe reflection, and maybe a different moment of something else comes up? And so that's why, for me, psychologically, it does matter, because this moment of rest is my body saying, my guard is down. And Is it a mask that my guard is down? Or is it true that my guard is down? Well, is there a mask here? And is there a mask here? And there might be in both, or they might not be completely clear, but I just made it clear to my body what it was. And so the mind, or the thinking part of all of it, can participate, but is my mind participating? Is no mind participating? You tell me. Is it here? Is my mind participating? Is it not participating? Who knows? It it does matter, but it's like, it's not so much like, if there is a mask, it's coming off. If there isn't a mask, it's coming on. If there is a self, it's coming off. If there isn't a self, it's coming on. Like, it could be anything to anyone, because it could be anything. Yeah, so again, those are some thoughts. It's a little bit wonky, a little bit sideways, but yeah, that's a preview. I might go line by line. It might be an 8-day thing, line by line, and then an 8-day thing. Try where I go 8 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, line by line, trigram by trigram, and then right and left. So depicting the full body trigram, and then like right and left doing the work. So I don't know. That's a lot of days just to cover one sequence. Well, I guess I'll see how I feel, but yeah, I mean, it's just an experiment. You're more than welcome to do it as well. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Yeah. This is honestly, this may also be the most challenging sequence, just because there's so much inversion in it. But yeah, so that's that. Hopefully, any of that made any sense. And did I just burp? Yes, I just burped. We're gonna keep going, keep it going on. All right, see you.